which is actually fine because it has an auxiliary plug-in, so you can actually plug it into your stereo.
Oh,
And the other Echoes don't have an
that's
auxiliary.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you can just plug it into anything you want.
right.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
Hear that train?
I hear it. Um, oh, and I was looking at the different things that you can get Alexa to do. Speaking of train, and if you'd like to hear the sounds of a train, you can ask Alexa to play the sounds of a train.
Oh, the sounds of a train.
Right. So here's the thing: if I'm preferably when I'm yes, what Ella? Okay, hold on just a minute.
Okay, sure, no problem. If anybody is watching, and we actually are doing this live, I'm not sure because I haven't tested it yet to make sure it's actually coming through. Um, I don't know. Say something. Let me know. I don't really know what this looks like right now.
Will you be quiet? Let me show you here. You couldn't have those. The medicine. It's not candy. Let's see. You can see it, but you can't have
So it's a little delayed.
it. What is?
Our live stream. I'm listening to it. You just now told your daughter not to eat the medicine.
Okay, so back to Alexa and her. Oh, she's listening to me right now. You have to be careful about talking about her while she's in the room. She starts listening.
Okay, so
Um,
it's working. That's a huge weight off my shoulder. I can relax now. Now I can listen to anything. I can talk about Google Home. But I gotta add Steven to the Skype.
while
Nobody
you're
with the
doing that,
Skype.
I'll
Is there a way to
Steve
add people to this?
Jr.
Yeah, I just don't know if he wanted everybody to know his Skype name, as it's
Oh, I
now
should
being
have said that.
broadcasted live for all to see.
My bad. I forgot about the live thing. No, I was gonna. So Alexa, ask her again. Uh,
Hello,
you
Hey,
hear her over there?
what's going on?
not much. Justin just blasted your Skype name to all the world for all the world to see. So you have a bunch of new best friends now.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. I don't ever really use it, so
Stop talking to
it'll be
Alexa.
fun next time I log in. Have 1,000 people.
Oh yeah. So I tested the live stream and it's working. So we're actually
Okay,
live this time, for
cool.
and hopefully it will continue to work. I'm a little nervous, but
All
we'll
right.
go with it.
I got Audacity up. Are we gonna record that as well?
Yes, we have not started yet, but
Okay.
I will let you know, as well as Justin.
All right. So anyway, the story I was telling. So Alexa, you can tell her to play the noises of a train.
Okay.
And so if I'm, clearly we're looking for where we're going to be living next year,
Right.
and I prefer next to a train track.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But if I can't get next to a train track, if we need to, I can just use that for
Okay.
our train.
I mean, if we have
There
to
you
live
go.
with that, we'll have to live with that.
Yeah. So
So guess what? I know you probably just heard me gulp.
chicken butt.
You probably just heard me gulp. But
Uh
I don't
huh.
know why this entire time we've been podcasting, I always have water and always have ice in it. That's the dumbest thing for me to do, right? Ice, water
Clank
on a
clank clank
podcast.
clank
Yeah.
clank clank. Mm.
So
Yeah,
tonight,
it's
there you go. Tonight, finally, I
I
have
got
ice
iceless
water.
water.
Iceless water. That's the way to go.
Yep.
I always drink iceless water though.
Yeah, because you're a weirdo who also does not drink his cereal milk. By the way, everybody has reached out to me. Everybody who has reached out to me says, yes, I drink the cereal milk. Justin is a weirdo. Steven,
Who?
cereal milk?
It's just so wasteful not to drink it.
That's right.
Who?
I was appalled, to be honest with you. My name's not even Paul.
I did like I did like the email that you sent me.
Oh, yeah.
What?
We
But,
we get onto it. I can tell you about Steven after the show. The guy didn't want to
Okay.
talk about it on the show. But if you're
Gotcha.
listening out there on the behind the scenes guy who sent us the email, I like the email.
It was a good email.
All right, so we are already somewhat recording, but let's do our backup recording.
Oh yeah.
You got yours pulled up, Justin?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, when I say 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
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 All right.
Looks like it's working. I'm recording.
Yep, mine's working.
Okay, so what I've done, guys, is I have taken, I don't know how to do interface or whatever the overlays that these fancy guys do on their live streams. I don't know how to do that. So what I did was I put a little picture of our logo, and then beneath it I put a picture of the box art, and then beneath it I've got just the game on, playing, just generically. You know what I mean? Like just the logo, and then it goes look cutscene. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll look pretty good.
Oh, you mean like just like
Nice.
the game, the actual game
Yeah, the
plan.
actual game's going. But it's not. Nobody's playing
Right.
it. I thought about getting a controller and playing it, but then I thought I'd get too distracted.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the game does take a lot mentally to play it. It's a little tough.
so I'll bring us in if you guys are ready to go.
I'm ready when you want.
Ready?
All right, let me get a drink. I'll bring us in. Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Not much. Just playing a little Strider with my good friend Stephen Michael from Facebook.
Woo!
What's up, everybody?
Yay.
Yeah, hotly requested guest Stephen Michael from Facebook.
Yeah. Wow.
Hotly requested. I doubt that.
Yeah. Well, once they found out you were coming on, they're like, yes, definitely listening.
Well, after he had
Excellent.
us play
They
Bugs
didn't know what they
Bunny.
wanted. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, they thought he'd pick out another great game like Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout.
Yeah, that's a top tier game for sure. Rival Super Mario Brothers.
It's right. It's right
Well,
up there.
Nostalgia sometimes. But tonight, we're talking about Strider. But before we start to talk about Strider, I have a heartbreaking story I'd like to tell you guys. So it's not really heartbreaking. It is for me, but nobody else is going to care. So the other day, we've got a camera in our house that detects motion and noises and things like that. And we've also got one on our porch that does the same thing. We're paranoid people, but that's beside the point. So we were at work, and my indoor camera system detected motion, or not motion. It detected noises, and it turned on. And when it turned on, you could hear this banging. It sounded like somebody was just banging on the door or trying to break into the house. And so obviously we get the notification. We look on our phone. It's like, oh wow, we're freaking out. Somebody's trying to break into our house. So my wife comes home to check and see if our house is okay, and she comes in. Everything's fine, no problems. There's just seemingly nothing has gone wrong. So she goes back to work, and we call a neighbor and just say, hey, if you're home today, just kind of check it out because they're usually home on Fridays. Anyway, so I get home from work, and I come into the office, and my brand spanking new, well, it's like 6 months old, and it's used, but to me it's brand spanking new, guitar has fallen from the hook on the wall and just come crashing down on the floor.
Wow.
Fortunately, it was intact, and it was a little detuned, but it tuned back up and played okay, but it's got some scratches now. It's got a little character to it.
Yeah, it's character.
Question. So what was the banging?
It was the guitar falling off the wall and like crashing down on the floor.
But I mean, if it's just, how long was the banging lasting?
Like 15 seconds. It wasn't long. But it was long enough to where
Oh my gosh, how?
you would not have thought it was a guitar. You would not have thought. But here's the thing.
No,
the guitar,
here's my question.
Okay.
Okay, here's where I'm going with it. Was some like, is that to an outside wall or near a window or something?
It's to an outside wall,
Where
but
it's
it's not
hanging?
to the one that's close to the camera, so that's weird. It was just really, really loud.
But- I'm just thinking, what would make it fall?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, just too heavy, I think, honestly. Because it's new to me. I had some of those Hercules hangers that you mount in your
Mhm.
wall, and
Yeah.
but I had my acoustic hanging there, which is hollow. It's a hollow body. So when I put the Fender up there, I think it was just that much heavier than my acoustic, and it just came crashing down for whatever reason.
Huh.
But anyways, so
That stinks.
it's just a little
I'm
story
intrigued.
from my last couple days. But it's the only bad part is I'm gonna have to sand something, which I do not like the idea of doing that. But on the neck, when it hit my keyboard, which is right underneath it, and when it hit the keyboard, the neck, I'm assuming this is what happened. When the neck hit the keyboard, it knocked a little dent out. So now when I play, it like scratches my hand. I don't like that, so I'm gonna have to sand that down or something.
It should be an easy fix, though.
Yeah, it should be all right. Anyways, I just thought that was a interesting story, something out of the ordinary that happened to me this week. You look like you want to say something, Jay.
I'm just thinking, like, you
just
made
don't
it
know what's
sound like
gonna
somebody was banging for 15 seconds. If a guitar falls from the wall, it's not going to bang for 15 seconds,
Well,
would it?
no, but it did bounce off of the keyboard onto like the chair and then onto the floor, and the keyboard fell off. So it's like three different
I'm saying somebody was banging on a wall,
and knocked the guitar off the wall.
caused it.
No, that didn't.
Okay.
But thank you.
I'm
for
trying to make you more. I'm trying to make you more paranoid. Maybe somebody was in your attic.
I
You
appreciate
got an
it.
attic?
We got raccoons up there.
Oh, somebody was up there.
Yeah.
Did they still run back and forth across the house?
No, that's the old house. Did I tell that
Oh.
story? The ghost story?
Yeah,
The seemingly
yeah.
ghost story? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There was
That's the
ghost,
old
and then there was raccoon.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
The
It
raccoon
may-
ghost.
It's, ghost of a raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Have you ever seen videos of pet raccoons?
I've met a pet raccoon.
I want a pet raccoon.
No, you
They
do
look,
not. No,
yeah,
you do not.
actually, no, they'd be in your stuff constantly.
Yeah, that's terrible.
mean-
Okay. Hold that thought. Let's get into
Okay.
Strider. And I will tell
Okay.
you about my dad's friend who has a pet raccoon and my experience with that later in the show.
It's just constantly get in and everything. I can imagine.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. But anyways, we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about Strider. Do you have any
All
questions
right.
for us?
I have history, but here's the question. So Steven has told us you've got a quiz, right?
Yes. Yes,
Is
I
it
do.
history related quiz?
Partially, yes.
Because I have a quiz too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
We could do your quiz. I'm
We'll
sure
do
it's
my-
better than
let's-
mine.
No.
need to do both.
I don't think. Probably not. No, let's do both. I think we should do both.
Yeah, we
Let's
can do
do
both.
my quiz now. During the history section, because mine's all history, no game
Okay.
play stuff. So then like during the gameplay, we'll do Steven's quiz. How's that sound?
Okay, works for me.
Sounds good.
See if Michael can go 2 for 2, because you're the only one playing both games.
Yeah, I may have to come up with a quiz just to help myself out.
Right. All right. So, I don't know if we played a quiz last time you were on, Steven, but basically how this works is to buzz in to answer the question, you say your name, and you can say Steven, but I would say we like the one syllable words. So maybe Steve,
Steve.
just shorten it to Steve for one
All right.
for the game.
I can do Steve.
Makes it easier to buzz in. And so we got 5 questions that are all multiple choice. Each one has 5 multiple choice answers. So if you can buzz in at any time, but now whatever, you get it. All right. So the first question. So Strider is the NES version is based on a manga, which is kind of like a Japanese comic book. Which loosely based on the manga. The arc. What's that noise?
My
Keep hearing a
computer's trying
noise.
to break.
I hear it. I'm not sure.
My computer's trying to
Oh,
break down.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. I kept getting. Okay.
I may have to
So
stop
Strider is
sometime.
based.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Sorry.
All right. So Strider, based on a manga for the NES version. The arcade version was only loosely based on that same manga. The arcade version made its way to several systems. Which did it not get a port to? Is it A, the Famicom, B, Sega Master System? Steve?
Famicom.
Yep.
Never
Steven
got a
is
game.
right. Famicom never got either version, never got the arcade version. So the arcade version was ported to several systems, both Sega systems, unfortunately. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
The
not a big deal.
Amiga, the Atari ST, and even a DOS version for the arcade version. But there was noticeable differences between the arcade version and the NES version, and this was mainly because of the development history. So it originally was developed between two different developers, Masahiko Kurakawa and Kuchi Yatsui. Now, Kuchi Yatsui did the arcade version, while Kurakawa did the NES version. And then there was a guy that was also worked for the artist team for the manga. And they all met together, and they were going to develop this game together. Well, Yatsui actually decided he thought it would be better to make it kind of like a competition between the arcade version and the NES version. So he didn't work with the lead artist of the manga or the NES version and decided to go on his own. And so that's why there's wide differences between these games. The NES version actually more closely followed the manga, where the arcade version pretty much took a story of its own. All right.
Cool.
So Steven is ahead. Yeah, so Steven is ahead with one. And question number 2. Strider's box art was designed by Mark Erickson. Which country gave him the inspiration for the art behind the visual interpretation of the quote-unquote Enterprise, which were the bad guys in the game? A, China. B, Nazi Germany. C, Soviet Union.
Mike.
D, North Korea. Mike?
I'm going to say Soviet Union.
It is the Soviet Union.
I was going to say Kazakhstan.
Man, I didn't even leave that as a choice, but I should have.
That would have been a good red herring.
Yeah.
I think Steve
but the little
let me have that one.
Yeah. So for the box art, Mark Erickson took of course, the Strider Hyrule wielding his plasma-powered Cypher against an enemy guard who was equipped with an AK-47 against a backdrop of Russian-inspired architecture. This was styled after the Red Square in Moscow, he said. He also was the illustrator for the rendition of Tengen's Tetris and used the same kind of inspiration. And so it was based on the Soviet Union, which were the all-around bad guys back then, right?
That's right.
Always.
Yeah.
USA. USA.
Anybody who is not
All right.
USA is the bad guys. Thank you very much.
Always.
All right, we're going 1-1 into question 3. The composer behind the music to the game is Haruma Fujita. Which game did he also compose songs for? Was it A, Mega Man, B, Mega Man 2, C, Mega Man 3, D, Mega Man 4,
Steve.
or E, Mega Man 5? Steve.
I'm going to go Mega Man 2.
Ooh, nope, not Mega Man.
Mike?
Okay.
Mike?
I'm going to go Mega Man 4.
Nope, you guys danced all around
It
it.
was 3, wasn't it?
It's
3.
Mega Man 3. He developed
Ah.
3 songs for Mega Man 3. All right, so we're still tied at 1-1. All right. For question number 4, the manga studio Moto Kikaku was behind the development of the game as well as the manga. The NES version is based. Who was the lead artist for the game's development? Was it A, Hiroshi Motomiya, B. Tatsumi Wada, C. Masayoshi Kurakawa,
Mike.
D. Liu Bei. Mike,
C.
it is not C.
Were you about to say Lou Bega as the last one?
Not Lou Bega, but D is Liu Bei, and E is Tom Arnold for the round out the answers.
Can I get the answers one more time, please?
Sure. So
This
I'll leave
is for the artist.
Yeah, this is the artist behind the lead artist for the manga and the game. So we're leaving off C because Mike guessed it and it was wrong. A. Hiroshi Motomiya. B. Tatsumi Wada. D. Liu Bei. Or E. Tom Arnold.
I'm gonna go B, and I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce it.
Go with Tom Arnold.
Steven is correct with Tatsumi Wada. Now, the red herring there, in case either of you had read up on the game, or thought about the name Moto Kikakua, or Moto Kikaku, I guess.
Kurakawa. He's a designer.
Yeah. So yeah, Hiroshi Motomiya was the lead of that group, but the lead artist for the game was, I don't want to say his name again. Tatsumi Wada. Yeah. And the guy you guessed, Mike, Masayoshi Kurakawa, who was in the credits given the name Patariro. He was actually the designer for the NES game. So you were close.
Okay. All right. Well, designer, artist, it's all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But back to that story I was telling earlier. Tatsuma Wada and Kurakawa worked closely together in the development of both the manga, which came out a year before the NES version. The interesting thing, going back to the Famicom question, is this was supposed to come out for the Famicom, and it had a date. It got delayed. It was supposed to come out in October of 1989. Got delayed to December. They even came out with a cassette tape with the songs from the game as a promo for the people that read the comic, whatever the book that the manga was being published in. And still they just dropped development. Now, supposedly, there's some white cartridges out there for the Famicom that, for this game, that are hot collector's items. But good luck finding them, I guess.
Do you have it, Steven?
No, that's really cool. I've never even heard of that. And I was doing a little bit of research into the game. Yeah, didn't come across that.
Yeah, so apparently one was online. There's been a couple in some auctions, but there was one online for 2014. I couldn't find for what it sold for, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye out on it for sure.
All right, number 5. Last question. Steven's up 2-1. Mike's got to try to tie, or Steven can finish it off. So number 5. Which of the following named themselves partially after the game Strider as he played it frequently as a kid? Was it A, a British author, B, a British chef, C, a British theater star, D, a British rapper, or E, a British crumpet?
Steve.
All right, Steve.
I'm going to go with the rapper.
It was a rapper.
Was it really?
A rapper, yes. A rapper.
I mean, I knew that.
Tenchi Strider named himself partially after Strider, which he often played as a boy. So, there you go.
It had to be the rapper, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, Steven walks away with this one on a 3-1 margin. And
I feel like the Tennessee
is the
Titans.
winner. Yeah.
Against the New England
That was a brutal
Patriots.
game.
That's right. That's right. You were just walking into a mess there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty much it as far as history goes. Mike, you got a story on how you found this game, or
Believe it or not,
you gonna?
I actually have a story this time.
All right.
Yep. So, for this game, I was in my collecting phase of life where I was collecting anything and everything I could get my hands on, which I'm not so much in that these days. I kind of slacked off on that. But so I was just, collecting whatever I could get, and I was sending a message to this lady on Facebook about a set of games that she had. She had I don't know, there's 10 games, like Super Mario 3 and a bunch of games I already had, but she had them for a really good deal. It was it was like $30 for Super Mario 3 and some just really good games, and Strider was part of that. And so I sent her this message, and I asked her how much she wanted for it and stuff, and she said, she told me. I said, well, I really don't want Strider's really the only one I really want, because it's the only one I don't have. The rest of them are just duplicates. And to be honest with you, you're really kind of underselling these games, because you've got some. It was when I tallied it up with a price charting app or something, she was asking for $30 for all of them, and it was $125 of stuff. I don't remember how many games it was, but it was a lot. And I was and if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, you're really underselling these games, and I'll totally buy them all from you, but you should probably not sell them for this price. And she's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. By the way, you can have Strider. I'll give it to your mom, and she can give it to you next time she sees you. And I was like, what? Apparently she knew my mom. And so she's like, yeah, next time I see your mom, I'll just give her Strider, and you can just have it.
Wow.
So, and I don't know what she ended up selling her games for, but
she just threw them in the trash.
I feel like that was just, she may have. I feel like that was just a moment of karma, just got me.
Right. There you go. See, it always pays to be the nice guy.
Yeah, but I totally also could have gotten a lot of really good games for a cheap price, which I also thought, man, maybe I should take her up on that offer.
What does Super Mario Brothers 3 go for?
About
we haven't talked
bucks,
about that game. Yeah.
Between 15 and 20, I think.
Yeah, it's not terribly expensive, just because there were so many of them that were made.
That's what I was gonna say. I can't imagine it being too expensive, even though it's one of the most popular ones.
There was one game she had that was somewhat rare, and fortunately, I'd already had it. I think it was Swamp Thing, actually. And back then, Swamp Thing was not as expensive as it is now, but it was still pretty expensive. I mean, it was still worth a decent amount of money, because this was about 4 or 5 years ago. But
can we just say the most overpriced game in the NES library?
Which one? Swamp Thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. There's some real duds out there.
Stadium events for about $9 to $10,000 is kind of bad.
That's true. That's just in a category of its own. But I mean, Swamp Thing is such a bad game.
Yeah, it really
it's so bad.
Yeah, price charting right now has it for $106.14.
Oh man, yeah, I could have had 2 copies of that game. Oh well.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Well, Steven, do you have a story?
The kindness of my heart got me a $6 Strider game, or however much it goes for. We'll talk about that.
Wow, you didn't go you didn't go away with nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, my story is that I have no idea where I got it from. Probably an eBay lot or a local store, but I have zero actual memory of picking it up. Most of the games are like that, which is why I try to take pictures of them and post them online. That way I can kind of go back and remember where or when I got them.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise they just get lost in the mix. I don't have an in-depth charting of where all my games came from. And right now, this past week, actually, I just jumped up to 457. Nice. I was at 449 for a little bit, and now I'm 457.
Looking good.
Wow. Do you have a list on your phone of what games you have, so you don't? Because I can't imagine you've got every 450 games just what those games are when you're out.
Yeah. There's no way. Me personally, I use NintendoAge.com, and they have a really cool. Now you have to be connected to the internet, which is kind of hokey sometimes. There's a couple of my local stores that, for whatever reason, I have zero internet access. So I've actually had to walk outside, reload it, check the games that I thought I had or didn't have, and then go back inside. But there's also Pat Contry's Ultimate NES. There's an app, which I'm in the process of rechecking my games both on Nintendo Age and the app because the app doesn't require internet access. So that'll be great for those kind of situations.
Yeah.
But I do have like a want list in my head of games that I'm looking for. I know that I'm missing, especially like the higher end games, and some lower weird ones like Sesame Street count, things like that. So.
Yeah.
You're looking for the Sesame Street counting game?
Yeah, I think it's like. No, it's the I think it's Count or Countdown, something like that. It's got the count on it.
I was about to say,
One.
Yeah, and that's the only one I don't have out of those games. The Adventure Lolo 1, 2, and 3 I'm missing for some reason. As common as the first couple are, but yeah.
I use an app called I think it's Collector Z. It costs I think it costs money. It depends on how many games you have. I'm underneath the threshold of where it costs money, but I think if you have over 1,000 games in it, it costs money.
Okay.
For their database, but it's a pretty good app.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's watching, I don't know if anybody's watching, but for the live people, and for the people listening, I'm sorry, but I just got to say this because I've been fiddling with this the entire time, trying to get some kind of overlay type thing, and it's changed a few times. I had to get rid of the game, by the way, because I think that's what made my computer spaz out there for a second, because I had the game running in the background. It was just too much to run an NES game, But anyways, I'm going to stick with where it is now, and I'm done. All right, I'm not doing it anymore. So, anyways.
All right.
So we got Justin. Justin, do you have a story, or did you just demo this one?
I had to demo it, even though it was well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Save it.
Yeah, I'm going to save it. But I did actually just demo it. So I've been traveling so much, I haven't been able to go to any game stores, and there's no game stores in Loudon, where I live now.
City.
Where?
AM Sports. It's like almost looks like a pawn shop. It's downtown Lenore City. He's got games in there.
Oh. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not
The one where I
used.
used to live was actually pretty good. The shady looking one.
Yeah.
They actually had quite the collection, but there was actually two up there that were good game stores. But I don't really.
I feel like
you go to
I
Knox.
feel like the guy at AM Sports. He's one of the guys. He knows how much the games are worth, and he prices them for pretty much what they're worth. So
Yeah.
it's not like there's no deals to be had or anything. At least not the last time I went in there.
All right. Or I can go to CM Games in Knoxville. We price the heck out of all their games. So.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're probably the worst.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
thankfully have a ton of retro game stores around me, and there are some that are a little bit overpriced, but there's a lot where you can get really good deals. So I try to hit those up about once a week, and usually you can pick up games, $20 games for $15 or $10 games for $6, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky compared to a lot of people that I know are nowhere around them.
Yeah, we used to have a really good store that I would go to. I've mentioned it on the show before, but I can't mention it. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head because it's been a while since I've been there. But they would always do like buy two, get one half off, basically on all their NES games, except for the ones that were in the case, which are like the really expensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much any game that was like $20 and below, they would have buy two, get one half off on everything, and you can buy as many as you want. So that was always a really good, pretty good deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the name of the place. Of course, they probably don't do that anymore. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't.
So,
All right.
I got I got a manual, but it's not a physical manual.
Right.
It's a PDF manual. You guys want to look at
Yep.
it?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Do you want me to try to put it on the screen? That's probably not going to work out, but I can try.
You're not there anymore. It's just a circling.
Yeah, you're
Like
frozen on my
loading.
screen.
I'm frozen. I'm just a circle.
Yeah. It's like
That's good.
loading sign. Your computer's gonna crash, isn't it?
It's gonna. I can feel it. It's coming. The crash is imminent.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I think Justin crashed when I was on for the Bugs Bunny episode.
man, we're just. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We're just the crashiest guys. Just a couple crashy guys. All right.
All right. So
I pulled the manual up.
All right, I got it pulled up too.
Okay, just read along. Read along, everybody.
Okay.
A special message from Captain Commando. Thank you for selecting exciting and fun-filled. I'm turning Russian, sorry. Fun-filled Strider. One of our exclusive family computer home video games from Capcom's Captain Commando Challenge series. Strider, created by Capcom Premier, worldwide arcade game designer, features colorful, state-of-the-art, high-resolution graphics. Now, is my manual just messed up, or does it seriously look like they've cut something out there?
I don't see anything that's cut out.
I don't see.
Okay, something looks cut out on mine. Anyways. All right, the story of Strider Hiryu. How do you say that? Hiryu? Hiryu?
Haru?
Haru?
I thought it was Haru.
Haru?
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 Okay. Strider.
It's oh man, I started.
What'd you say?
I started to make a bad joke.
No.
I'm not going to.
We've got good karma building so far. We don't need to have any cash tonight. Okay, Strider is the strongest secret maneuvers group in the world. It specializes in smuggling, kidnapping, demolitions, disruption, etc. One Strider of C grade is equivalent to one well-trained team of the Special Corps.
Question. I'm really curious as to what the etc. is. Smuggling, kidnapping, demolitions, disruption, etc.
Yeah, knitting.
Yeah.
Catering.
Taking long walks on the beach.
Yeah, stargazing. Yeah.
All right.
So, Haru was the youngest Strider of Super A grade. After eliminating the sister of a mad A grade Strider, he decided to retire and was spending his life peacefully in Mongolia. Wow, Mongolia, huh?
Well, it is future, right? This is set in the future, so yeah, Mongolia could be the tourist destination of the world in 2048.
This is true. What I want to know is he was the youngest and then he retired. Did he retire as the youngest?
I guess.
He's just he's done. He's done so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
One mission he was done.
Yeah.
It was really hard because he had to, kill somebody's sister or something, right?
Yeah.
That's rough. All right. One day, the vice director of Strider, Matic, showed up. Apparently, Haru's friend Kane had been caught by the enemy. Matic ordered Haru to destroy his friend Kane and threatened to start slaughtering the Mongolians if Haru refused. Well, Haru dad, no choice but to return. Okay, this is something we can get into here in just a minute when we start talking about the game, but even the manual is suspect to some English. All right.
Yeah, that's great.
Haru had no choice but to return. After rescuing Kane, he discovered the fearful plan conceived by the Striders and an organization called Enterprise. Yeah, they are terrible. Their cars are just like,
oh yeah, yeah,
destroyed.
And an evil project called Zane. Haru decided to destroy the Zane mind control weapon along with the Enterprise and the Striders. The fate of the world hangs in the balance. So the story of the game, here's what I don't understand. Okay, you're Strider. You're a Strider, which is known for doing bad things, like smuggling, kidnapping. You retire, and then in your retirement, you just decide to become a good guy, I guess.
Well,
or you ever?
It's
really
his friend,
a good
though.
guy in this game, I guess you're never really the good guy.
Because I don't know. Because it's like the story of the game seems like you're the good guy, and Enterprise is bad guys within this organization that does bad things. I don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I get
maybe it's good smuggling and kidnapping.
Oh, like Han Solo type stuff.
Yeah, they're smuggling in like first aid supplies and stuff, and kidnapping.
Okay. right.
children that have been kidnapped already.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
It's actually re-kidnapping.
Yeah.
Some would call it rescuing, others just call it re-kidnapping.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, moving on. So that's all for the story, though. But okay, so the story is a little wonky, and it doesn't get much better from here, as far as the storytelling goes, in my opinion. But there's a good foundation.
They had no choice.
Well, we had no choice but to play this game, thanks to Steven. Actually, no, we'd already planned on doing it. No, we drug Steven along. Oh, no.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Justin, why don't you take over? I'm getting tired of talking.
Well, really, for the rest of the manual, there's not a whole lot to it. But I do want to just kind of go through these steps on getting started because I feel like they're important. I feel like the listener should know.
Mm-hmm.
1, insert the Strider cartridge.
Oh, that's where I was
Turn
going.
on your Nintendo machine. They don't even refer to it as the Nintendo Entertainment System. They refer to it on your Nintendo machine.
That's right.
Yeah, I got stuck on that step actually.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Before the game starts,
you
you will receive a message from Matic, the vice director of the Striders. So, anyway, then it explains the Blue Dragon console, where you can transfer or analyze or put in passwords of your previous plays. Then goes over some basic control things. I'm trying to look for some good English to read, but I'm not really pulling any up. Controls, keys. So then it explains the keys. Some doors require a key to open them. When you have the key with the same number as the number on the door, you can go through. Message discs, triangle jump, acceleration, dot jump. And then it goes through the power tricks that you can do. There's one part of this. I'm trying to find it. I noticed it when I was looking at this earlier. I don't know where it is now. Okay.
Under the power tricks, the one thing that I don't think is accurate is that Medical 3 upgrade. It says recover 150. I'm pretty sure it's just full recovery. Because I was using that on the final level with like virtually no health left, and it was taking me back all the way up. I could be mistaken, but I don't think that's accurate.
I didn't make it to the final level, so I'll just trust you on that one.
Gives you the who you have to kill to get the different message discs. So you get these message discs that you need to take back and you need to analyze. And there's Badger. There's Dragon Friend. I don't know why he's a bad guy. Is he a bad guy? Yep. He's a bad guy. His name's Friend, but he's a bad guy. Kodiak and Flashblade.
Yeah, they're like the little mini bosses in the game.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. That's pretty much it for the manual. There's Strider, it shows the acceleration jump that you can do, and he looks like a child in the cartoon. But other than that, that's about it for the manual. So
yeah, I already closed it anyways. I think the manual is pretty lacking on this game, to be honest. It's not
for
color.
a Capcom game too. Usually,
no color, it's kind of boring.
Usually, Capcom games got a pretty good manual.
It's true.
Captain Commando let his guard down on this one.
I think so.
So anyway, so let's talk about the meat and potatoes here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the game.
Meat and potatoes, my favorite part. So
Yeah.
I will. Actually, Steven, why don't you describe just kind of an overarching idea of what this game is? It's a side-scrolling slashy actiony game, but there's more to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like side-scrolling action, like you said. However, it's kind of like a Metroidvania in the sense that you go through levels multiple times and have to jump all over the world, and you travel to specific locations that are guarded with doors. And as you're side-scrolling, attacking along, you can actually find shortcuts to get through the level faster, as well as unlock doors to get to extra parts of the level that you couldn't before. You get 3 power-up boots that you're able to walk on water to access new parts of the level. You got to use wall jumps to access part of the level, which most people in the new group I've formed seems to have gotten stuck on that part before they realized you could even wall jump, because the wall jumping is terrible. And I think that's...
This game has some of the worst
Yeah.
jumping in general that I've ever witnessed on an NES game.
And it's quite
Yep.
disappointing, I think, from a Capcom game. Capcom games usually don't have this poor of controls, which is interesting. It almost makes me think, was it, and I think maybe somebody even mentioned this in the group, like, was it kind of a hurried production, you know?
Yeah, it does kind of seem like there's a lot of, I mean, the game itself at its core is, I would almost say, excellent, but then there's just a lot of stuff that almost gets overlooked. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of problems with this game that I don't understand kind of where they come from. I don't know if they were trying to do too much with it, or I don't know, or if they were rushed, like you said. Because at this time, 1989, Capcom is probably cranking out the games. They're probably hitting their max quotient that Nintendo will let them have in a year.
Mm-hmm.
So they maybe it's spread a little thin. Because 89
Right.
would have been prime time to be putting out NES games, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's super buggy, super glitchy. The speedrunning community, have you guys looked into that at all? But they exploit the crap out of this game, and they're able to actually beat it. I think the world record's just under 4 minutes now from 4 days ago.
Oh my God.
4 minutes?
Yeah, less than 4 minutes. Yeah,
It's
But
crazy.
if you actually look at the game play from it, they actually use like the jump ability to jump through the level and then basically glitch through the top of the screen to fall to the bottom. And I mean, it's crazy the amount of glitches and things that they do in it, but it's crazy to watch. Because I was thinking about maybe trying to do like a full speed run of the game myself just for fun, but when I'm looking up those glitches, you know, I think it'd take forever to try to learn how to do them. They definitely don't look like it's luck. It's a lot of skill,
Yeah.
especially the mess up runs. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's pretty cool. The last time from it actually was from 4 days ago, with a time of 3 minutes, 54 seconds, and 340 milliseconds.
Wow.
And then
It's insane.
2 days.
I'm gonna
yeah,
have to watch that just to see what they do.
2 days ago, 4 minutes, 402, 403, 405, and these are all like within the past week. These times, so this is like an active speedrun game. Apparently, there's an active community around it.
Yeah, that or we inspired them.
Oh, very well could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Are they all dudes?
Yeah,
Are they-
It's
are they
it
on
just
the
says, yeah, cool kid has the world record. Bald Nate, Sub Styley, Backlash. So I'm sure they're all 2 dudes listeners.
oh,
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be. I mean,
Sure.
considering how many people
Sure.
listen to this show, they almost have to be, just statistically.
Right.
You know?
Right. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, if you're listening, 3 minute and 54 second guy, or any of the 4 minute guys, quite the impressive feat.
Yeah, if you have a sub 4 minute time, I'm impressed. And so is Tom Arnold.
Right.
And Putin is rejoicing somewhere.
I forgot about Putin rejoicing. We haven't used that one in a while.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring it back.
Yeah, I like it.
By the way, to add to the noise of being scared that the computer is about to just completely crash, I've completely lost Skype other than hearing you guys talk. It's gone. It's not even- like, I can still hear you guys, but it's not even on my screen anymore. I don't even know where it
There's
is.
no control of it anymore. You
No,
can't see us.
I can't see you. I can't see, like, the Skype controls. It says not responding, although I can hear you. So,
This is what we call hanging on by a thread.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so for the game, for me, you know, I think starting off, you know, I thought I was pretty excited about it. You know, the game looked cool and it played pretty cool, but over time, it just kind of, some of the jumps just didn't seem to be that. And again, I'm playing it on um, you know,
Demo.
version. But it just I don't know if it was even more glitchy for me, but the glitchiness just kind of got annoying after a while. But overall, I don't think it was that bad of a game. I did enjoy it. I do like the kind of power ups that you get in the game, where you get different features by beating different, like Steven said, the little mini bosses in the game. I think that's really neat, and that's a neat aspect. And the Metroidvania style, I enjoy.
That's a
But
question I had actually. Would you guys consider this a Metroidvania? Because I almost would not. I would say it has Metroid-like elements, but I don't think I would necessarily call it a Metroidvania.
I wouldn't have called it that if I hadn't have read it and research says that it's considered a Metroidvania style.
Really, I that was like one of the first thoughts I had when I started going back to the levels to begin with. However, I'd say it's probably like a Metroidvania light. Like it's light on those aspects, but I think it's probably close to the classification, if not fully there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would call it. Yeah, I would agree. Metroidvania light. I mean, it's really neat that you kind of level up and you get new skills, and those skills help you get different places. But it's also kind of got a. I mean, you could almost call it Duck Hunt, or not Duck Hunt, DuckTales, as much as you call it Metroid, because you kind of have this hub thing where you can bounce between levels.
Which is exactly what you see in DuckTales. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, could you call it a Duckvania? I don't know. Or a
Metroidvania Duck.
A Duck Metroid Tailvania.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's got it's got the elements of a lot of different games, kind of all into this one.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I think I want right now?
Waffle House.
I do. But I also would like to hear Steven's quiz. I need some.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I put together a 12-question quiz.
Oh, man. Here we go.
It gets into a little specifics. We've covered some of this stuff. None of the questions were exactly like yours, Justin, but you just got to get in fast probably before some of the answers come out. But you guys ready?
Right. I'm ready.
I got one thing to say.
Yep.
Steven, you took to heart when I said you're going to have to carry the show. Obviously.
No, not at all.
All right.
All right, here we go. Question 1. What year did the game get released?
Mike.
Justin.
Mike, I think I heard first.
1989.
Yes. Very good. All right, question 2. What year does the game take place?
Mike.
Justin.
Justin on that one.
2048.
2048, correct. This one, you got to be fast, gentlemen.
Mike.
Mike.
You said I got to be fast. Sorry.
You have to answer it now.
I flinched.
Who developed Strider?
Mike.
Justin.
Oh, Justin.
Capcom.
Capcom it is. What is the name of the character you play?
Mike.
Justin.
Justin, I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Come on. It's my computer.
Haru.
Hiru, I will take that as correct. All right, here's a true or false.
Mike.
Mike.
True.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Would you like to hear the question, Justin?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to listen to the question.
There was an arcade of the same name released 1 year earlier.
True. Yeah. I mean, no, false.
No, you got it wrong, sir. You were not paying attention.
Oh, that was... You do not get the point.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the 1 year earlier was the throw off on it.
When was it at the same time or was it?
Yeah, 89.
Okay.
Yeah, they were developed side by side, but I threw in the 1 year earlier because usually the arcade game comes out first.
Right.
Excuse me. Which of the following is not a location in Strider? Not a location in Strider. A, China. B, Australia. C, Japan. D, Brazil.
Mike.
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 Brazil.
Brazil is correct.
Good one.
All right, question 7. What is the name of the last level in Strider?
Mike.
A. Blue Dragon.
Mike.
B. Mike.
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon is correct.
I didn't make it there, but I saw it.
I posted a run of the last level on that new group.
That's where I saw
All
it.
right.
Red Dragon.
You
Blue
guys are tied
Dragon,
up.
One dragon,
Yep.
two dragon.
Well, Blue Dragon, I think, is the name of the main base where you start
Yeah,
out.
the main base. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
Red Dragon's the last level. So you guys are tied up 3-3.
All right.
Next question. Which game system never got a Strider game? A. Game Boy Advance. B. Super Nintendo.
Justin.
C. Justin.
I'm gonna say Famicom. That's where I think you're going with it.
I was hoping that would not be the case.
Incorrect.
Yes.
Ah.
C. Sega Genesis. D. PlayStation 3.
Mike.
Mike.
Okay, now can I ask a question within a question?
No.
Well, no, I need some clarification here.
I'll reread the question to you.
Okay.
Which game system never got a Strider game? Game Boy Advance,
Uh-huh.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis,
Oh, okay.
PlayStation
All right. I want to
3.
say Super Nintendo.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I thought the Famicom was too easy.
All right.
Yep. 9. Who gets kidnapped in the beginning of the game?
Mike.
Justin.
Mike.
Kane.
Kane gets kidnapped. Very good.
Dang it.
5-3. You're starting to pull away.
That if you would have been paying attention to our show, you would know a lot of the answers. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Number 10. When was the last Strider game produced?
Justin. 2014.
Very good.
It's a good game.
He's doing his research. Yeah, I've never played it or even really heard of it, to be honest with you guys. But apparently a lot of people have.
It's good. I recommend
Yeah,
it. Although you kind of have to either have last generation system or a computer, I guess, to play it on.
I think it was released on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh,
I was looking at the game list for it. Yeah.
Awesome. I thought it was released on the PS3, but maybe I was wrong.
It said 3, 4, 360, and 1.
Oh, it was all around. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Re-release. All right.
All right. And true or false? There is manga based on Strider.
True. Mike.
Mike.
True.
Your name's
True.
Drew.
I get excited sometimes, all right?
Your name's Drew, and you answered Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Last question of the game. Justin, you can't win. I'm sorry.
And
It would only make it 5-6. What is the quote-unquote demon weapon and final boss of Strider? Is it Cypher, Yuga Kuni, or Cypher?
I don't know. I was going to say Zane. but
Just-
I don't know.
Justin. I'm
Justin.
gonna say Cooney.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Cypher.
No. I put Cypher as 2 of the answers.
Cypher is Strider's weapon, right?
Yeah, it's Yuga is the final boss and the demon weapon according to the game.
You get a
So I
decimal,
put-
I get a decimal. We all get a decimal.
Yep. I put A and D as Cypher.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Uh,
And then Mike picks Cypher.
Well, I thought maybe it could have been A or D.
Yeah.
Yep. So Mike wins 6-4. Sorry,
All right.
Justin.
Good game.
Yeah. Justin, do you feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Pretty much. Blew that lead, didn't I?
I'm just trying to really date this podcast.
Right.
Yep.
Blew the big lead.
Yeah.
Or
2000.
actually, they didn't lead at all. So
No, they didn't lead at all, and just barely lost. So that's why I was trying to. Yeah.
no, I don't feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Pittsburgh Steelers are the heavy favorites, and they never led. I was.
You
Not
were the
supposed to win.
underdog, my sir.
I wouldn't say underdog, but I wouldn't say the heavy favorite. And I led for a good little portion of the game. So
Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Wrong analogy.
That's
I'm
the story
saying.
of my life.
All right.
Okay.
So back to
Back to the game. Oh wait, actually, before we get back to the game, Steven, you want to take a minute? We've already mentioned your new group you started, but since you mentioned it during your quiz, and we're kind of coming back from your quiz here, do you want to mention your own group for yourself?
Yeah. So the name of the group, it's on Facebook. It's called Retro Video Game of the Month Club. Very original, I know. But I kind of wanted it on the nose, so if anybody was looking for something like that, it should be easy to find. But basically what the group is, once a month, we are going to highlight a retro video game, as the name of the club would suggest, and pretty much just play it all month as a group. Talk about the gameplay, the graphics, post videos, pictures, of the card if you have it complete, or you're playing demo mode, whatever the deal is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, excuse me, towards the beginning of the month, we'll have a vote for games for the next month. So actually, we just did that about a week ago. So tomorrow, the 15th, we're going to announce next month's game, which sounds like it's going to be, it was Strider this month. Next month is looking like it's going to be, oh shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. Do you remember what the big favorite was?
I don't.
No.
Oh, it's Star
remember
Tropics.
Star
I
Tropics.
got it pulled up.
Yeah.
Star
Okay.
Tropics.
I knew
Yes.
I voted for Star Tropics.
Yeah, so it's looking like that's going to be the game. I think it's got the most votes with 9. So we're at 32 members now. We'd love to see it grow, and get a lot of participation and, talks about what's going on. I posted a video of the final level of the game, which is slow and bad and shows how terrible the jumping is in the game, whether it's my skill or the game itself, But yeah, I just figured it'd be cool, like a book of the month club. You have a video game of the month club, so kind of branch out, maybe play a little bit more obscure games, or something that maybe a lot of people haven't played, if that's the way it gets voted on. But
I think it's an awesome idea myself.
yeah, thank you.
Great
I
idea.
love the fact
gonna be fun.
we were able to coordinate it with our show this time.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a
Yeah.
perfect launch.
Yeah. So, and in the future, we may be able to do it again. Of course, we've already covered Star Tropics, and but people can go back and listen to that episode if they want to get some insight into.
Although there's this
There's some
guy
hype
on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went on to like dance around with a Sega Genesis.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's one of the few episodes we actually lose Justin for most of the podcast.
Yeah.
And instead of being replaced by somebody cool like Steve and Michael from Facebook, it gets replaced by some poser named Aaron Hickman.
Yeah. All right.
But I digress.
Right.
Yeah, so if you haven't joined it yet, please join it. Yeah, I've got it set so that not anybody can join, just to kind of keep the bots out, because it seemed to have a problem with that when I first created it. But I think that's kind of slowed down, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get in. There should be no issues. But I'd love to see this grow and see a lot of interactions with these old games that a lot of people just have sitting on their shelves, whether they're a collector like me and probably wouldn't have touched this game, if it wasn't for this group.
Yep. I
Sounds
agree.
great.
Sounds great. So Strider. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the graphics of the game. Now, I had issues. I don't know. I tried it both ways, both as the cartridge and in demo mode, and I had issues with just rampant flicker. I don't know if that's.
There's flicker. There's flicker, but I'll tell you this. Graphically, though, I didn't think the game was bad. I thought the game was pretty good graphically.
Actually,
All the sprites looked good.
You didn't let me finish. I was going to
Okay,
start
fine.
with the bad. And I was gonna finish
Took a
with-
pause. You take a pause. I'm going to take over.
Well, the videos crashed, and I apologize for that. But my mouth was open, ready to say another word.
All right.
But anyways, I was going to say that there's lots of flicker for me, but
Mhm.
it didn't really bother me because, in general, the graphics were really quite excellent. I love the character
Yeah.
design, and I love the level design, the way they looked. So I like the size of the characters too. There's a pretty good. They're not huge, but they're bigger than your average NES character. So I actually like the graphics a lot myself.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought they were done really well. I think the mini boss designs and everything were just crafted very, very well. The mechanics of them and their actual design, fairly unique. And Capcom did it, so you're getting quality. Besides the jumping, of course.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't stressed the jumping enough. Seriously, people. This game is, we're kind of talking about it in a somewhat glowing way. We're saying it's pretty good. But honestly, when I first turned it on, the first couple times I tried it, I had to turn it back off because I just could not stand the jumping. Like, he'll jump, and you never really know how high he's going to jump. Some games you can control it where you hit the button and the longer you hold it, the higher he jumps. This game, somehow, it incorporates the slope of the land and stuff too to adjust your jumps. But there were many, many times when I would jump and I had no idea whether or not I was going straight up, if I was going out, if I was going high, if I was going just a short little jump. The jumping is just it is the worst jumping that I've played on the NES, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The slope takes, the slope jumps, you basically gain speed. But the problem with that, like on the very last level, Red Dragon, there's a long slope and then you got to jump up to an edge. Well, you can get too much speed, so instead of jumping at the right angle, you jump into the wall, or you don't have enough and you just kind of float right before the edge. And then if you're standing too close to a wall and you try to jump, you'll get hung up on the wall itself. Or if you're trying to do the wall jumps, those are virtually impossible to do with any sort of regularity. It just kind of almost felt to me random, and I'd get stuck 5 minutes or so trying to do a single wall jump, which to me is insane. I don't know how they got past playtesting, especially for a Capcom game, with their own quality assurance.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'll tell you this: I was playing the first couple days, not knowing the wall jump existed, just seeing the character get stuck on the wall. Sometimes, if you jumped into a wall, he would hang up on the wall for a second and get stuck. And then I found out, you can wall jump. I found out through Steven's group, actually. I was like, you can wall jump. So then I spent the next couple days trying to wall jump, and honestly, I think I may have done it once, maybe twice. I just could not figure out how to do the wall jump.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Thankfully, throughout the entire game, they only force you to do that wall jump, I would estimate a half a dozen times or so. Maybe even less than that, or maybe a couple more. I don't know, to be honest with you, but it doesn't get easier. I can tell you that. Every time it's a struggle.
They don't force you to do it very often, but they force you to do it at one of the earlier parts of the game, which is a part that will hang a lot of people up, and I guess a lot of people probably turn it off. I don't know I don't remember what level it's on, like the second or third level that you can go to. But
yeah, I don't remember either, but it was real early in the game.
Yeah, there's a real early part where you kind of have to do the wall jump, and man, it's really frustrating. Anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I really didn't feel like we were bashing the jumping mechanic in this game strongly enough.
Yeah. And that's a major problem. I mean, you have the attacks that work really well. The slide, I think, works really well. When you're doing the boot walk up the wall, and even jumping on that's not as bad as just standard running around the game. The power-up weapons. Yeah, I mean, it's really tight and controlled. It just literally blows my mind that they didn't fix this, or at least tighten it up a little bit, because it is, like you guys said, the worst jumping in any NES game I've ever played.
Yeah. Well, let's lighten the mood up a little bit. And what do you think about the music?
Amazing. I love the music in this game.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is some of the best. If the jumping is some of the worst, this game has some of the best music.
Oh, absolutely.
Capcom games always have great music. I mean, it's just something they always do, and this is no exception. I mean, even the title screen cutscenes had great music. Like when I first cut that on, it was like, man, this is really good. So yeah, they really got it right on that one.
Mm-hmm. Now we always do the test. It's almost like a win-play show. It's a play it in the car, like it during the game, or just turn it off. Where does this fall for you guys?
Play it in the car.
Yeah, same here.
I'd play it in the car.
Windows up or down?
I'm gonna own it.
Going down?
Keeping them down.
Keeping them down.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good music.
You?
Good music. Well, I don't know. Have we talked about the game well enough that people can make a decision? Or do we just need to just break it down with this and work out how much to go for segment?
Well, I'd say if I can just add one more thing, I just think when you look at this game compared to all the other games that are out there, whether you put a price tag on this or not, I think it really is a very high quality title. You have awesome graphics, you have awesome music. The controls overall are pretty good, with the exception, of course, of the jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And the level design, I think, works really well. The backtracking and the keys and the upgrades were, honestly, it was kind of blowing me away. As I was progressing through the game, I was literally getting excited every time I'd pick up something new. You go back to your command center, you open up, you read the new files, you get your new keys, you continue on. I mean, I think this is really a super solid title beyond the jumping.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I think that the traveling back, at first I thought the traveling back to your ship thing would kind of be a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you have to do. By the way, everybody needs to know that, because I did not figure that out on my own either. Because the first level, you go part of the way through the level and you get a key, or not key, you get floppy disk, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're supposed to go take back to your ship and analyze them. And that's how you get access to another level. And you do this various times throughout the game, pretty much every level, I guess. But the ship is not there for you to know that it's there to jump back up into. You just have to go back to the beginning of the level and just jump into the ether, into the mist, and your guy just goes flying up into the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the manual, we just read the manual. The manual doesn't really tell you to do that.
No.
The game itself doesn't tell you to do that. So you just have to know. So anybody playing this game, don't get frustrated. Just know that after you get a couple floppy disks, anytime you get a floppy disk, you can take it back to the ship. So you just go back to the beginning and jump, and he just goes flying up in the air.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually got lucky and did that right out of the gate, the very first level. And the reason that I did is because every single game that I play, instead of going to the right like most games do, I always try to go to the left and jump up and try to, like in Metroid for the NES, Yeah, when you got to go to the left to start. So I always go to the left, and I just happened to do it the first try. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty neat. So I had no issues with it personally.
Yeah. Well, but I did that too, but I didn't jump. Okay, so I went to the left, and the screen stopped. I was like, oh, well, and then I went to the right.
Yeah.
Because you have to go to the left, and then you have to jump. But anyways, that's another thing that people need to be aware of about this game. But no, I totally agree with everything you said. I think it's kind of surprising that they added all these elements of leveling up and getting new skills and new abilities, because I played the Genesis version when I was younger, and I don't think it has any of that stuff.
I can't say or admit that I have ever played that version. So
well, you guys can get all huffy and puffy at me over it if you want to, but what I'm trying to say is I think this is better than the Genesis version of the game, even with the wonky jumping.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, I know it's better than Genesis version.
I didn't even have to play it, and I could have told you that, but I mean, whatever.
Jerks.
We're not the jerks here.
Yeah. Name a better game on the Sega Genesis that's better than, say, Sesame Street ABC on the NES.
I can't think
can't be
of it
done.
off the top of my head, but
Yeah, it can't be done.
Right.
Yeah.
hey, Justin,
Hey.
jerk store called. You're out of here.
Yeah. They're out of me. Best joke ever.
Yep.
All right, so Justin, how much does this game go for?
All right, so online, I'm going to go with an average of $10.
Okay.
What it's going for online. So,
All right.
average of $10.
Well, then I will say it's worth it. I think this game has enough redeeming qualities that if you can get past the jumping and just kind of go in admitting that it's not going to be great. Just know that the jumping's going to be terrible. And the more bad things we say about it, the less it's going to seem bad to you when you play this game. You know, so I will say that it's totally worth it.
I'd say totally worth it too. I mean, it's definitely fun enough for $10. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yep. I also agree. I think it's worth it. In fact, my personal opinion, I would rate this game probably upwards of $20 that I would
Really?
pay to play this game. Yeah, I think it'd be worth it at that price point. Personally, just because when you really dedicate yourself to it, which is kind of a weird thing to have to do to a video game, but if you can, I think it's a truly fulfilling experience, especially the very last level of the game, Red Dragon, which I recorded and uploaded. I beat that level several times, probably 5 or 6 times at this point. And I absolutely loved it because it's like a little mini boss rush, you know, just the whole thing, how it's designed super well. And I got tons of play, you know, time just on that very last level, let alone the rest of the game. So me personally, worth it all day at $10.
Cool. Yeah. No, and the level looked like a lot of fun. This is one of those games I'm going to continue to play. This is not a game that after the show I'm going to sell off or give away or wait, did I say give away?
You did.
Steven.
Yeah.
Remember when I said you were carrying the show?
Yeah.
Steven has generously offered to give away a copy of Strider.
Yes.
So,
yes, sir.
I don't have any names in a hat right now. Do you? Do you want to give it away to? How about this? Okay, there's a lot of dudes that have joined your group. Do you want to give it away to one of the listeners who's also joined your Game of the Month group?
Yeah.
Open it up to everybody.
You know what? Let's open it up to everybody. Just okay. What's your other?
I got a good idea. Sorry, we're doing this on air.
Yeah.
But how about,
on the fly.
How about we wait? It is now announced that you're giving away a copy of Strider, but in order for people to get a copy of Strider, they have to come join your group.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's give them until let's give them like a couple weeks. Let's give them to the end of the month.
Okay.
This episode will actually. When's this episode released, Justin? Do you know?
No, I'd have to look at my calendar.
Okay, it doesn't release till the 24th, so never mind. Let's give them to the end of February, right? I'll help you remember, and then at the end of February, we'll give it out. And
sounds
it'll
good.
Just be the people who join your group. So remember, Retro Game of the Month Club, right? Is that right?
Retro Video Game of the Month Club.
Retro Video Game of the Month Club. So we'll give it away to somebody who joins that group.
Yep.
Sounds awesome.
Sweet.
I like it.
I come up with good ideas sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
This live streaming thing was not necessarily a very good idea at this point, but
well, it hasn't crashed yet, so it's not too bad.
No. Knock on wood.
Don't.
Don't jinx this. All right. Retrofitted trophies.
All right, I got a couple.
Okay, I've got a couple. Did you come up with some, Steven? Don't tell me. You got 15.
No, I am slacking on the. I'm slacking on them this time. Yeah, I had about 110 last time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's okay.
So if you guys want to start,
All right, Justin, take it away.
All right, so mine's kind of a trophy for failing at this game, and that is Haru, more like Abel, and that is not rescue Cain.
Wait, what? Isn't Cain the one that killed Abel?
He was. Man, I thought this was like a genius trophy, and now it just blew up in my face.
That's okay.
All right, forget
you don't
it.
have to be a Bible scholar to be on this show. You're okay.
All right, my bad.
It's cool.
All right.
All right.
It's still a trophy.
Yeah.
I'm not rescinding it.
Okay. All right. You can still earn the Abel trophy.
Yeah.
For not killing your brother or not rescuing your brother.
Yeah.
All right. Then my first one is Jordans, and to earn Jordans, that being Michael Jordan's, you have to make that jump off the ramp in the Red Dragon level.
Oh, Very
It's
good.
a pretty massive jump, but with some precision too. So
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
esque.
All right, I like it.
My first one is Spinning Top. I'm not good at puns, but it's beat Flashblade for the first time. And he's the little ninja with two swords sticking out that kind of like
Yeah.
spins around the level.
Yeah,
All right.
I
that's
like
good.
it. I like it. Mine is. Can I get $20 for this too? And that is use the plasma arrow, like selling plasma. Get it? All right.
I tried that one time.
I've done it several times.
Yeah.
Back in my college days.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, beer money.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I've got another one called "You Must Be a Genius." ... or Stephen Michael from Facebook, and that is go left and jump up into your spaceship right off the bat.
All right.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
came up with that one, by the way.
That. Yeah, I wouldn't say genius, but just pure luck. My next one is what is this? TMNT2, and that is kill Dragon Friend for the first time, because he looks like the one final boss at the end of that extra level on Turtles 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the samurai.
Yep, I got it. Sounds good. I hate that guy, by the way, in that game. He's really
Yeah,
impossible
he's
to beat.
with his floating head. Yeah.
I hate that guy. This guy, not as bad as that one.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Justin, do you have any more?
I'm done with mine. I tried to come up with more, but I was forcing it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't force trophies because then they
No,
just turn
no,
out
you
bad.
can't. I've tried it several times. If you listen back to some of the episodes, you'll know that I've been trying to force a lot of trophies over the years.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. But I got one more. It's Tom Arnold would be impressed, and that is beat this game under 4 minutes.
Oh wow.
I did not even know it could exist.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, the trophy used to be beat this game under 10 minutes because I thought that was the reasonable time to beat this game. And then after hearing Stephen Michael here tell us about the speedrunners, I had to bump it down a little bit.
Yeah,
So
but
that's-
down by a lot.
Yeah, and I had the same trophy, but just beat Matic at the end of the game.
Oh, okay. All
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
So I had a list of about 10 of them on my phone, in my Google Notes app, but it is not there, and I don't know why it's not there, and I can't really remember what they were.
Google.
So
Don't trust Google.
yeah, live and die by Google. They're killing me.
All right. So, how are we gonna rate this game?
Good question.
Type
Let's see.
of.
Strider. Okay, I got it.
Kidnapper?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say Striders do bad things like kidnapping and demolition and stuff. So why don't we just rate this game as something a Strider would do, or is that too on the nose?
A
I like
crime.
it.
A crime, a type of crime. Okay. very good.
Type of crime.
Crime don't
All right.
Oh man, I don't know about this.
Okay, I've got one. Okay.
All right.
It's making meth, making and selling meth. Okay, because much like meth, once you get into this game and dedicate to it, as Steven said, you just can't stop. You know, you just gotta keep playing it, and then you start saying like, "It's worth $10. It's worth $20." And who knows what Steven's gonna say next? He may say it's worth $40, $50.
I was thinking 25 already.
Yeah, see, whatever it takes to get that fix, just like crystal meth.
Right. Right. Right.
Hey, no, honestly, meth is no joke. We just watched. The reason it popped up in my head is that we just watched a documentary about it, like right before I came in here to do this podcast, and it kind of freaked me out. So
Yeah, meth.
Oh.
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of meth in my days in the emergency room. And no good.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway.
What kind of crime
All
you guys
right. Hmm.
I would say I would rate this game with theft because it's wrong, right? Theft is wrong, but realistically, this game stole my heart.
got?
Ah.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
Had you played it before this moment?
I feel like I have, but I don't remember really playing it, at least really getting into it. So if I ever have played it, it was probably very briefly. This was my first real time getting into the game.
Gotcha.
That I can remember anyways. Yeah.
All right. Mine's going to be Assault. And it's Assault because it assaults your day because you're just going to sit there and play this game all day.
Okay.
That's kind of
That'll
cheesy.
work.
That's pretty
Whatever.
easy, yeah.
It's not as cheesy as it stole your heart. Come on.
Yeah, that was the that was the bottom of the barrel, Mr. Suck.
No, I'm just messing with you.
It's fine because it really did steal your heart. I doubt Justin actually sat around
It
and
did.
played this all day.
Huh?
You didn't sit around and play this all day,
Not all day. I
but
mean,
it really did steal Steven's heart
yeah.
because he likes this game a lot.
Yeah, theft is wrong, and probably a lot of people won't agree with it. But yeah, I'm very impressed.
All
I'm
right.
impressed with thieves. Yeah.
All right.
Impressive thieves.
Yep.
All right. You ready for some feedback?
I am.
All right. So on Facebook, we've got Stephen Michael who says, that sounds like a great guest to have on the show.
I agree.
Yeah. Andrew Zeismer said, this game is a personal favorite of mine. It's glitchy, not aesthetically pleasing at times, and downright frustrating, but for some reason I really love the adventure and goofy level up system. It's definitely a guilty pleasure from my childhood. Plus, I know Paul hates it, which makes me love it even more.
Oh,
Timmy Mack said, having a lot of fun revisiting this game. It's tough in spots, but rewarding when you stick with it. Plus, Capcom. I'd like to thank Steve and Michael for the group and reminding me of this classic. I just wonder what the dudes and Captain Commando think.
Oh.
Andrew Code says, great choice. This is a fun version of Strider. Although it is very different from the arcade and cough cough Genesis version, it is a good game in its own right. The moment-to-moment gameplay is solid enough. Although not quite Metroidvania game, it has those elements of leveling up to access new areas. Having to backtrack all the way back to the beginning of a stage to return to your ship and analyze data can be a bit annoying, but not a deal breaker by any means. The presentation in the game is really solid, and the cutscenes and charming translations as well as a fantastic soundtrack. This is a winner in my book. Can't wait to hear you talk about it. Thanks, dudes. And he says, love the life you live and live the life you love. All right.
For a guy who doesn't do a podcast, he sure does have a fancy sign off.
He does. Yes.
He should probably just
Freddie,
do a podcast.
yeah, he should. Freddie Velasquez, but not on NES game.
No.
Freddie Velasquez says, I love this game. I have the manga that this game is based on. Oh, neat. Nathan Cooper says, not as good as the Genesis version. Troll. What a troll. And Tyler Jones says, awesome game. Last guy sucks at life.
Oh.
I wouldn't say he sucks at life because I think he's just trolling us.
And I would also say he just has terrible opinions.
Yeah, that's true. So that's it for the group the Facebook group feedback.
Okay. Well, I have.
Got any voicemails?
Funny you mention it. That's exactly what I was going to say. I do have 2 voicemails.
Oh boy,
Let's play them. Maybe.
maybe. Oh man, that's gonna be this. Is this gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back?
Oh. Sorry.
Sounded like Gabe.
It is Gabe. I didn't mean to like all of a sudden make it work while you're trying to talk, Justin. What'd you say?
Yeah. No, I would just say, is this going to be the straw that broke the camel's back?
No, because fortunately, I gave up on running the phone calls through a soundboard, and now I just hold the phone up to my microphone.
Right.
You're used to I run it through the soundboard that we bought, but no, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it
go ahead.
constantly breaks my computer, so you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Dudes, this is Gabe Van Gilder. I didn't get a chance to leave my Christmas memory.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. So, a little backstory on Gabe and the reason why he's calling this Christmas memory. Remember how he left like a really long one and then a really short one, and we screwed up the long one and played the short one first, and said, "Never mind, Gabe. We're just going to play the short one." Well, he messaged me and said, "Well, thanks for playing my short call, but I had a really good long call." So I said, "Okay, call again, and we'll play."
All right.
Because you guys never aired it, which is fine, you know. This is too good to leave off any podcast. Well, it's not that great. It's not like the greatest story ever told, but, you know. I got Mega Man 3 one year for Christmas, and, you know, it turned out to be my favorite Mega Man game of all time, and I just played it to death, and I found every single secret out. You know, pretty much known to man. Well, I had help. I had the Game Pro, you know, magazines and stuff. But I found out you can, like, have a little. You can't die at all with Mega Man if you hold a certain. If I remember correctly, hold the D-pad a certain way. Well, I won't bog down the call like I did before. But you guys can look at all that stuff. Well, you guys probably know half of this stuff anyways. But yeah, so I love Mega Man 3. I mean, I love 2. It got me started on the series, but 3 is. It always has a special place in my heart with the music and, you know, everything else in the game, the graphics and the characters and Rush. You know, it's a great game. I do want to say real fast that my idea for your show for the new year, Happy New Year, guys, is I want you to, like, this is going to be rough, but, you know, basically do all your retro fitted achievements all on like a spreadsheet if you can. Like, I know it's a lot of work. Justin might have to hire, you know, a secretary or something to do it. But all your retrofitted achievements ever done on one website or even on Facebook would be an amazing New Year's accomplishment for any D-padder or dude like me. So, you know, think about it and maybe give it a whirl. I hope the next game is really good. You know, I can't wait. You know, all these games keep on popping up, and like, I haven't played half of them, but you know, I like listening to them and hear what you guys have to say about them anyways, but I've been long enough, I guess. Happy New Year's again, and can't wait to see what you guys get going for you in the future. Bye now.
Thank you, Gabe. He talks about Mega Man 3. We just talked about Mega Man 3.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same
right.
music. So that's
Right.
That's timely. And then his idea for the show, I'll be honest, I don't want to do that myself. I don't want to sit down and listen back to our episodes and type out the retro fitted achievements or the trophies, sorry. But if anybody out there wants to, or Justin, if you want to, by all means, I will host it on any of our website or anything. If you somebody else puts it together. I just really don't myself want to go back and listen to it. Especially some of that old stuff that I know is terrible, like some of the old episodes that when we first started doing it. I don't want to hear myself talk on those episodes, but anybody is welcome to go back and gather all that information, and I will help you post it somewhere. But
That is a cool idea, though.
yeah, it is a cool idea.
It is.
I challenge some dude or D-padder out there to do it, and
That'd probably be instant dude ship, right? If they weren't.
Yeah, that would be instant dude ship for sure, and you
Definitely.
come on the show because that's a lot of work.
Right.
All right, we got one more.
Yo, dudes, it's Jay-Z NES here, also known John Drosslick with my name, and I see you guys are playing Strider there. And that's a game. That's a Capcom game, right? And I can't really go wrong with Capcom. I don't know a whole lot about Strider, but I've got a suggestion for you guys for the future. There is a game. It's pretty obscure. I would say it's one of the most obscure. I would say probably NES games that's really, really good. And the game is called Stanley: The Search for Dr. Livingston. So maybe you guys can look into that sometime. But Strider, yeah, I don't really know much about it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's Capcom. It should be good. Probably some good music. So until next time, Jay-Z out.
Gosh, other podcasters got to be jealous knowing that Jay-Z calls our podcast.
I know. It's awesome. We're pretty lucky that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I've never heard of that game for some reason.
I haven't either.
Stanley.
Me either.
The Hunt for Dr. I guess we're going to have to look it up. We'll
Yep.
look it up, and I'll see if it looks like something we want to play or not. All right. So you did the Facebook group. Let me just thumb through a few other items here. Did you do the Honorary Dudes group?
No.
Okay.
I think we only.
Ryan Reynolds says, I just rolled credits on this game today. It's a really fun, if not flawed, game overall. I was playing it on a Retron 5, so I don't know if you'll encounter the same control issues that I did, but the jumping in this game is terrible. You'll often jump at different heights seemingly at random, and the wall jumps were a real problem for me. The gameplay style is a little more Metroid Light over Metroid Like, with a lot of backtracking to various places after receiving new keys. The music is awesome, and the graphics are solid. It's a real shame they didn't spend just a little more time tightening up those controls, because this could have been one of the truly great NES titles. I picked this up at a local place for $6, and it's absolutely worth the price. So it sounds like he says exactly what Steven said.
Yeah.
Steven,
Yeah.
do you have something to tell us? Are you also Reynolds?
I just plagiarized it.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Let's see. Did you do the Facebook page? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And Twitter says, tweet.
Tweet.
Paul from Paul and Andy, Power Trip Gaming. Go check those guys out. They do YouTube. They play video games. They do the gameplay a lot better than we do. If you notice that live stream that I tried to do like a couple nights ago, it was terrible. It had no audio. I don't even know if the sound of the game came through. But my vocals certainly did not. So anyways, Paul says, one of Andy's favorite games, but I really did not like this one. This was actually the first game we played that I thought was criminally overrated. Commence with your stone throwing. Steven's a big dude. He can throw boulders. So you better watch out, Paul.
My face is bright red right now from anger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Google Plus. On Google Plus, we have nobody. Womp womp. Ryan.
What's up, man?
In Ryan's defense, he has been commenting, but it's always been after the show for some reason. Well, we have an Instagram comment. Did you even know that we posted on Instagram?
I actually did, but I didn't think anybody ever.
Well,
Didn't
Fredro does. Fredro commented and said, it was the first Strider game I played back when it first came out. I like how it is an adaptation of the manga. I too like that. And that's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I've got.
So, does this game make it into your updated 118 list? Or it would be more than 118 now, no?
That's a good question. Justin,
What's that?
You said it's $10.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So-
I don't think I could replace it with anything. I would not replace it.
Okay. So, here's my dilemma. I've thought about it. But I'm at my list was at 117.98. I was two pennies away from 118. In order to replace it, replace a game, the only games I could replace are Ninja Gaiden or Life Force. and those are two games that I love and I think are better than this game. So, no, it could not replace the game, and I'm not going to take 2 games off because there's some other good games on there. So no, not for me. I don't think it would make my list, but it's close.
Yeah.
It would definitely be in the honorable mention category.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I actually never submitted a list. I was gonna do it way too late, so I actually have my list.
Okay.
Read it.
Let's hear it.
Of time.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So with this, we're up to how many episodes now? It was at 118 then, but it was adding $1 each episode, right?
I think we're 125, 126, something like that.
Yeah,
125,
something
6.
like that.
Okay.
Although you can't do that. You got to go 118. Sir.
Okay, 118.
Because-
Yeah, that's
because we've been holding ourselves to 118. Because if I could go to
Yep.
125, then I could probably squeeze this thing in. You know what I mean? But
oh
That's
yeah,
right.
so
That's
118.
All right. 118. All right, fair enough. Well, that changes it slightly. So let me just take a quick peek here because there was something.
Okay. Well, you
I'm just gonna-
you adjust it. We'll go ahead and talk about how people can find us and stuff while you adjust.
Okay.
your
Yeah.
list.
All right.
So you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, for Google Plus, and you can also find us on our website, twodudesandannest.com, nintendudes.com, or nesdudes.com. And you can always call us by either going to the website and hitting the button, or calling us at if you want to do it the old-fashioned way,
At 775-7 Retro 1. That's our telephone number. So you can do that. Now, we also have a Patreon. Now, I would be upset at myself if I didn't at least mention it, because we never do, and I feel like we should. We have a lot of awesome dudes out there donating to us. But if you want to be one of those awesome dudes, you can donate to us, patreon.com/NESdudes. Now, this month, I think we're going to work it out that we're going to talk about, what are we talking about? We're talking about Handmaid's Tale at some point, but not this month. This month, I think we're talking about the Doki
This
Doki
month
game,
is
right?
Doki Doki Literature Club, yes.
Yes. So, anybody out there, if you have not played that game, I recommend that you play it before you listen to the podcast, because it will be spoiler filled, but you should totally play it and then listen to our Patreon episode about it. It's going to be really good. We're going to have
Yeah.
we're going to have Andy from Power Trip Gaming on, and possibly Sean from Nerdy Thursday. So it'll be a really good episode.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Patreon.com
All right, Steve.
/NESdudes. All right, Steven.
Okay. So my list is adjusted. I come in at 116.21. It's going to be starting off with Batman for 801.
Okay.
Blaster Master 934. This one I'm pretty sure was on everybody's list. Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout 575.
Shocking.
Mega Man, yeah. This is the most expensive game I got. Mega Man 2 for 19.99. It's just a classic. You get so much gameplay out of that, even at $20. Metroid 1781. Ninja Gaiden 1150. Strider for $10. Super Mario Bros. $9.99. Turtles 1 for $6.49. Turtles 2 $12.99. And finishing it off with Top Gun $4.34.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
like
list.
it. That's a good list. That's a good list.
It's turtle heavy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. If you had Manhattan Project, it'd be on there as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff will get bumped when that review comes out.
Oh yeah. So we discussed. I don't know if we mentioned on the show, but Justin and I discussed we will be doing another one of these, probably when we reach another milestone episode, like a 200.
Yeah.
And then we'll bump it up again to 200, and then everybody can
Awesome.
readjust their lists. And I'll update the spreadsheet and everything too. And the spreadsheet is still the old prices from whenever I made the spreadsheet. So that's why if Steven mentioned a price for a game, you're like, oh man, I just paid whatever for it. Then that's probably because it's gone up since I made the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne?
All right.
All right. So I guess that's it. The only thing I got left to say is thank you to the Wee Dude, Wee Guy on YouTube for the music. He puts together awesome stereoized NES music. Thank you to the Fox Dude for the amazing logo, which if you're watching live, you can see in the upper left corner. If you're watching not live, it's probably also still in the upper left corner. And then if you're just listening, just close your eyes and just picture the awesome
Just
logo.
picture. Just see it.
Yeah, just meditate over our picture. And then also go listen to the rest of the Retro Junkies Network. There's some great shows on there. I'm not going to go down the list of all of them, but there's shows about just about every system you can imagine, including the Atari 2600 and on down to whatever. And then there's also Genesis Gems, but nobody listens to that.
Right.
Don't listen to that.
Right.
And if you, and I guess that's the show. I will say goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Okay, the live stream's still going, though. So I just want to say that if you're listening and you're wondering what the heck are these guys doing, it's because we're also a podcast. This is actually a podcast. So if you want to subscribe to our podcast, figure it out.
Is there? Can you see if there's anybody listening?
Oh, yeah, I can if I pull it up. So, yeah. There's supposed to be chat and stuff, but I didn't want to try to worry about that tonight. I just want to focus on making sure it worked.
Yeah.
But there may be people listening. And if you're listening, if for some reason I throw this into the podcast, that means we're on Twitch and stuff too. And I think, honestly, I put it on more than just Twitch. I tried to. Electric Maestro says, I guess you're not looking at the chat. Bye then. Sorry, Electric Maestro. My bad. Anyways, are y'all still there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I got it pulled up Twitch on my phone, and the screen is black. It has your guys' logo and Strider, the emblem there, but there's nothing actually being broadcast visually.
Yeah, it's because I lost Skype. I don't know when it happened, but at some point Skype went away.
Pretty early.
It was pretty early on. Yeah. Oh well.
Manual time.
Anyways, so I guess somebody probably needs to. I don't know. I guess when you do Twitch, are you supposed to monitor the live stream? We'll do that if we play games, but I'm not going to do that during the podcast. That'd be too distracting for the audio only listeners.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that up, like you said, when they're playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never broadcast anything live before, so I don't know what the protocol is.
I think you're supposed to get in the chat, or at least acknowledge that the chat is there. Otherwise, people leave you. So
Yeah.
We may all.
Guy.
What'd you say, Jason?
Like that one guy.
Like that one guy, yeah. The one thing we could do, and we'll see how this goes going forward, but we could open up the chat during like the feedback section or something, if we get enough people watching it.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
So
Good.
all right,
Well, I'm going to go to bed.
okay. Well, it's good
Thanks.
talking to you guys.
Thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys. A lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll
Thanks
let
for
you all
coming.
know
So
if I need your audio.
Okay, do we stop it right now, or have you guys already stopped yours?
Yeah, just go ahead. And
Yeah.
stop. Just stop it now.
Stop. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Guys.
All right.
All
See
right.
ya.
Have a good night.